some friends who are really struggling with a dilemma, like to find some common ground on a decision they should make regarding their freshman in high school daughter, who, by the way, is wonderful, and she's mature, and she's beautiful, and she's bright, and she's funny, and she's friendly. And I cannot choose a side here. I think that my friend was asking for advice, like, what would you do? And I don't know. So I'm taking it to y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'll take it to the pros, Katie.
Let's take it to. I don't know that anybody has the answer on this one. I think
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one to navigate.
It's a lot of gray area.
It is. So basically, the mom wants her freshman daughter to have a cell phone, and the mom says it's for emergencies. It's because she has other children, and if her daughter needs to get in touch with her because she's running here, there, and everywhere, she has access to a phone should she need her. She is not worried because she is mature. She's not worried that she's going to be going on websites or texting people that she shouldn't or any inappropriate behavior. But the dad says, I don't want my daughter to have access to this phone that we all know can be addictive.
No matter how good or powerful your mind is, we're all checking our phone. They said that some average, we check our phones like 30 times an hour or more. Just picking it up, picking it up. I do it all the time.
Have you ever clicked on something that wasn't your phone because you're so used to, like, and you're like, I'm insane right now.
Right.
Or, and also his point is that she will have access to, if there is an emergency, she has access to asking someone to borrow a phone or go to the office or ask one of her friends.
Yeah.
Also, he says, I want her to learn to navigate this world without having everything right at your fingertips. And I do think that's admirable. I do, because we rely on these things. And when the internet goes out, we're all screwed.
Yeah, we're screwed big time.
We don't have access to our money.
There's another signal, too. It's the internet, and then you have the phone feed.
You know what I'm saying. This phone is our everything. It's access to our money. It's access to our friends. It's access to our homes.
But that's
getting
society.
You in and out.
The society is. I mean,
It is.
just not before a phone, we are now dependent on electricity. So
That's
this is
true.
just the evolution of now depending on that, except... I mean, I guess there's abuses on everything, and it does seem like in this time that is addicting as anything,
It
causing
is.
problems. There's also good stuff with it, too.
There's good stuff, but it is, you cannot deny this, it is changing our skeletal structure.
Not only that,
because we're bent over our phones or our computers all day long, and our thumbs have arthritis.
And that's why Squid, the youngest on the show, has evolved. His legs are so skinny because he's the way
That's
he's
a genetic thing I'm working on.
No, I think it's because you're sitting. And then they have studies that show, especially like apps like TikTok and things with the algorithms, are literally rewiring young people's brains in a negative way.
Yes, causing depression.
I mean, that's
suicide.
like I said, I think we'll look back 50 years from now and say it's our generation smoking that we can't believe we at least allowed kids to even be on social media or 13 and up or whatever. They all get around it, when they're 10 or whatever. I really do, because I think it's the thing that as a nation, as a world, we've never seen something that's had everyone to some level addicted.
Yes.
Like, I've never smoked, not a problem for me, but it is for somebody else.
You can say that about electricity, though.
We're not addicted to it, though. We're not like, I got to check my electricity.
No,
I
but
gotta check my
everybody wants.
electricity.
Yes, I have to turn on the light. I mean,
it's different. It's not having electricity doesn't rewire your brain.
It does. And it's just like when your power's out, you go into the room and you lift the light on anyways. Well, it is rewired.
And sorry, Katie, with social media, every study shows when teens, especially, and teen girls especially, they get off it, immediately they feel depressed.
I feel depressed when my power goes out.
But Jason, you don't have to.
I'm just saying it's different times, different perspectives.
It's not the same.
There's similarities.
I can see what you're trying to say. I get your train of thought for once, but I really don't. That's just not the same.
But then as a mother, I also see, that's why I fully see the dad side and agree with it. But then as a mother, I see the mom side and fully agree with it, where you want to be able to have access to your babies. I get it.
Right.
And then also this mother shared with me that she went to the freshman orientation, and the teacher said, well, just have her take a picture of it with her phone.
With the QR code or whatever.
And she didn't have one.
Right.
And it's almost like it's unheard of to be a freshman in high school and not have a phone.
Oh, well, I was at that orientation last night for my son, Eli, who's going into middle school, 6th grade, and the teacher, she did say, oh, he can take a picture with his phone if you guys allow that. She kind of caught herself. But
right.
And he does have a phone, but he's 11. You know what I'm saying? So it's like so commonplace. If you don't have a phone, you're the weird kid, which is unfair.
Which is so unfair, you know?
I see kids in elementary school I think Everly has a phone, is
Does
what Jason
she?
was telling me. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Does she? I was kidding. Does she?
She has a phone.
yes. I mean,
Oh my God!
Oh, I really felt like he
Remember,
was joking.
He's trying to get us off this electricity
I knew
rant.
you were kidding.
No.
I said as a joke.
ask the
seriously
Amish
said-
people.
I-
But no.
I grew up with the Amish. I know how they do.
I seriously said as a joke, Jason. I did not know
I
she had a
didn't know
phone.
she had a phone either.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we want to hear from you. 800-682-1075. Is there a way, and I'm sure that it's not just this mom and dad who are going through it or just this daughter going through it, is there a way to have a happy medium?
Okay. Great question, Katie.
Thanks.
Nathan, what do you think? What is the solution here?
Well, I was going to say, I got completely addicted to my iPhone, and I was spending like 9-10 hours a day on my phone. Like, there's a way you can go into the apps and see how much time you're spending on your phone every day. And it was like affecting my marriage, it was affecting my job. It was just like not working for me. So I completely got rid of it. I traded it in for a flip phone.
Wow.
That's my dream.
There's a lot of companies that still make flip phones that absolutely still work on 4G, and I'm calling you right now on this flip phone.
Sounds great.
And I don't know, it has absolutely changed my life. Like, I don't want to sound like a crazy person, but
No, I think you're being actually more honest than most people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're all addicted to some level.
Yeah.
Now,
If I had an iPhone when I was a teenager,
forget
man,
it.
like I'm so glad I went through school before everyone had cell phones, because that would have just messed me up.
Now, this is a little off topic, but when you text, is it still the T9 thing, or is it, or do they have flip phones where you can text where it doesn't take? You don't have to.
No, it's. You got to sit there and hammer out every single button, like 4444555.
Yeah, if it's the letter C, you got to hit
you know what?
1 3 times.
Right.
Yeah.
But it makes you stop and think about what you're about to text somebody.
Is
Like,
it
you
worth it?
got to plan it out. So
Yeah.
it makes it does kind of give you that second to be like, you know what? I don't even think I should be sending this text right now.
This is more than
Forget
2
it.
sentences. I might as well just call them.
Right. Well, and also it could help with
you.
our spelling maybe in the future, because it's not going to have autocorrect on one of those.
That's right. You have to know it.
I told my husband, because he's real techie. He's into all the latest and greatest, whatever. And I think that it's his form of love, like his love language. Like, I got you the new phone, or I got you the whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, Ben, I don't want to be that connected. I really
Right.
don't. He's like, oh, but yes, you do. I'm like, no, I don't. I want the flip. I'm telling you, I want the flip
Meanwhile,
back.
Yeah.
you have an Apple Watch, but
I
that's
do.
okay.
I know. Yeah. So
we all have it.
we
You have-
fall into it.
Yes. Yeah, we can rail against it, and we look. I'm just as guilty. All right, let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, there's a mom and a dad. They're a married couple, and their daughter's a freshman in high school and facing the dilemma. The dad says she doesn't need a phone, and the mom says yes, she does. Is there some sort of solution here?
I think that the man is absolutely correct, just because
We are.
on a cell phone, there's so many ways that people can be bullied,
Yeah.
And if one thing happens, then 500 people know in a minute.
Well, and then you
And
have.
I'm a really strong...
Oh no, go ahead.
I'm a really strong Christian woman, and I thought, I can balance it, and I can, take control of it and do different apps. But it didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah, even for
There's
yourself.
just so many bullies out there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's a real concern. Also, and I've heard my daughter Ava talk about it. She's going to be a freshman, or starting here soon, or she's a freshman in high school, and which is crazy to me. But she was saying, "Oh, this one girl, she sent her boyfriend. This is a middle school, an inappropriate picture." And then the whole school is sharing it,
Oh, my God.
you can't get away from it. And
Right.
it's maybe in a moment of weakness or peer pressure, or maybe she just wanted to do it. And you don't think of the long term, you don't think of any of the consequences, or you trust this one person. Then the whole school knows her as a certain thing. And Ava thought she felt bad for the girl, but she's like, that's all
It's
the
a
school's talking
mistake
about. And you're
yeah.
at the time you're 13. How can you?
You don't
as an
process
adult,
it.
you can't even handle that.
Nope.
But it's just so many pitfalls.
Is there a phone that exists where because I don't know, but is there a phone where it only is the texting platform, where you can't have apps, you
I
can't
think
have...
you can shut off the data. There's certain restrictions, like if you go on the account, you can shut off data. Like you can't. That's all you can do is either text or call.
Or
you can
call.
do that.
That
Okay.
Bark app that I was telling you about,
Yes, the
which
Bark
I think
app.
is a really, I'm still learning it. Put it on both my kids' phones, and it alerts you of anything inappropriate that comes through. So they feel like they have their freedom, although I didn't have freedom when I was a kid.
Hell no.
They had their freedom as far as like
Well,
they
you
could,
did though, in a different way.
No, listen. Yes, but but my parents had rules too. But
Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't send me everything that they text. But if there's certain words that come across, I get alerted. If a certain photo comes across, I get alerted.
But you can see everything if you wanted, right?
No, not on this app. You can't see, and then I can shut off TikTok if I wanted to. I can shut off, or I can just block it where they can't even download it just from an app. They have Bark phones is the next thing that I saw. It's a little more expensive, but you can actually it's a Bark phone where it already has everything on it, and they go from day one knowing this is how it works, and it looks like an iPhone, but it has so many safety precautions, and I can from my phone limit their website traffic if a young boy puts in boobs, it's not there's going to be no results are going to show up. So,
And if you get an old phone that you used to have and you've upgraded and it doesn't have the cellular plan on it, it'll still connect to the internet and you can still send iMessages as long as you're online. So you can still get the text messaging, just not going to be able to have phone calls.
Okay.
And Jared, just for the record, I know you want to disagree with me a lot today, but you did have
every
you
day.
did have a lot of freedom that was different because you didn't have a phone back then, so we could be out all day and night until the lights come on, doing whatever we wanted. I feel like I could get away with way more stuff back then than now with cameras and phones and tracking and everything else.
Yeah, but the fact that the internet exists the way that it does now is a whole different level.
100%.
Where everybody has access to every single thing that you're doing, and predators are just waiting.
100%. But at the same time, when we keep referring to, well, I'm not impeaching on their freedom, and they have plenty of freedom. I didn't have freedom as a kid. Yes, you did. You had freedom. You could do a lot more and get away with a lot of stuff that your parents never knew about.
Not in my household. Mimi O'Brien was all up in my room.
But she,
all
yeah.
up in
right,
my
but
letters.
when you were
or,
out,
you know.
she didn't have to say like, well, you didn't call me back. You didn't make it.
Yeah.
She couldn't track
Well,
you.
Jake-
But
on
it was a
device.
different level.
It
That
is
was just a
different,
very
but
different
it is
level.
evolution and it's evolving and
Well,
there's different things. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
understand what you're saying, but then in our day, we had to sketch a picture of our junk, buy a stamp, have the person's address,
Or you just had to go to the park and flash people.
and mail,
You know
it,
what I
and
mean?
it's like, gosh,
Well, you had a Polaroid. You could,
happened
you
to the
could,
good
if you had
old
access to a Polaroid camera.
You
could-
had to go to
Polaroid
Walmart
camera.
and you had to pray to God that the photo that you took on your disposable camera came out, because if not, there's no recollection of the night.
And I think some places would throw it away if they were
Yes,
inappropriate.
they would. Walmart
Yeah.
and Boone always threw them away.
If there was anything inappropriate, they throw it in
yeah.
the trash.
Mm-hmm. It's
lame.
true.
Basically North Korea, if you ask me. But no, I had
There's
different
always
but-
ways
but
around
my
it.
parents had blocks on the internet we had on our computer, and then also anything that was over TV 14 on our TVs were blocked. You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. But my parents, their job is to protect their kids. They didn't give me a cell phone when I was 6, but they parent differently. All right, let's go to Sheila.
That is a direct reference
I'm
to
not
something we
judging you.
learned
I know you're
5
good.
minutes ago.
I know you're a good dad. I'm just messing with you.
It's fine.
Sheila, let's. What is the solution here? A dad says, "I don't want my 14-year-old daughter or teenage daughter to have a cell phone." The mom says she needs it for safety.
Yeah, emergencies.
Yeah, I think there's a happy medium. I think that having a flip phone that, is just in your car, or even if they carried it on their, in the purse, that allows the daughter to be able to use it if she needs it. Because, see, back in the day, there was pay phones. Like, if there was, an emergency, we'd stop and use a pay phone. We don't have that option now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, being able to have a flip phone in the car as well as like a map, which honestly I think even adults should be able to use a map, because heaven forbid, the other day I had my GPS go out and I'm like, I have no friggin' idea where I am. So,
Right.
I think just being able to have those practical life lessons instilled at a young age, knowing how to, use a map, being able to have a flip phone, and being able to explain in the event that there's peer pressure, why don't you have a smartphone? Well, because this is practical and the frilly stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Well said. Let's go to Claudia. Claudia, what do you think the solution is to a parent one parent saying their daughter should not have a phone, the other one saying need it for safety? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm 100% with the mother,
Mm-hmm.
because until the adults do a better job of keeping kids safe with, laws and gun reform and whatnot, and we have school shootings,
Mm.
I want my child to be able to have access to me to let me know what's going on, so I can come and rip somebody apart.
Okay.
Because
know that they're
they
all
can't
right.
get to the office if they're under lockdown.
God, that's a good point.
Claudia, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Freeman, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say I fully support Jason in every way. The electricity thing was awesome. But, technology is such a good thing. I remember being a kid and we all had to do a report on one paragraph in an encyclopedia. And now kids don't even ask you how a bird flies, they tell you. So phones are a good thing all around, I think.
Yeah, but hey, here's the flip side of that. Kids can't get from point A to point B without looking up how to do it. Like, they're not doing anything on their own anymore.
At the same time, though, Katie, if, like, for instance, I have a certain way, this happened yesterday, I had a certain way of going to a place that I know. And I'm like, let me just put this in the GPS. And it took me a quicker, more efficient way that now I know and don't need my phone anymore and now know a better way.
Yeah, but Jason, the fact that if like all of that was taken away from you, I don't think you do already have the knowledge of trying to figure out or knowing how to get from point A to point B. Kids, it's not just something that you have.
Yeah,
you have to learn. I think you have to have the fundamentals.
But my grandparents used to ride a donkey from point A to point B, and now we drive cars. So technology is always forward. It's a better thing.
What did you think about the electricity
He
point?
said he liked it right off the bat.
What
about that point did you like, Freeman?
Because I think the electricity thing that Jared disregarded, I think, is very similar. It's a technology that we are addicted to and relied upon back in the day when they didn't have it.
You're not addicted to your phone or to your car.
Yeah.
You're not.
There's a difference between something we rely on and something we're addicted to. I'm not going and sitting in my car every 30 seconds because I gotta be by my car. If I'm on my phone, I start to panic.
Yes, like if I go out in public and don't have it, it is a panic attack.
And it's not for safety. It's because I got to check if someone liked my recent post.
Because we can't sit for 3 seconds without being entertained.
When people's electricity go out for a long period of time, there's panic.
Because we depend on it. It's the difference between it being addicted.
Depending is almost just as bad.
I go through it as a DJ. If I don't use vinyl, I'm not a DJ. But technology's forward. Who needs vinyl anymore?
I think a lot of people would argue.
You just upset. You've brought up electricity, donkeys, and vinyl in one call, Freeman. We're friends. We're friends on Facebook. He's a nice guy. He has a Blackstone, by the way.
And isn't it true the trend seems to be that younger and younger kids are going more towards less technology?
It is.
They're coming off of social media. They're going back to the flip phones. I mean, it is changing.
There's a little bit
I
of
think
blowback.
there's movement of
There's-
there, but
yeah.
it's an extremely high percentage
And
that
then
are on it.
that guy brings back the vinyl talk. I mean, there's a whole bunch of kids who would say vinyl's cool.
And I'm not talking about practical things we don't know. It's a big concern that the anxiety and depression is through the roof, and it's definitely associated. It's not because of the phone, but the phone has the social media on it, and that's directly associated.
But there's
That's
a lot
not
of
safe. That is
other
unsafe.
variables that are also creating that in the world today, including pandemics that probably also contributed to.
Well, we were well on our way before the pandemic.
But even before we had phones, we weren't seeing all this hysteria nonstop. It's you pick up your phone and every message is negative. You're like, oh my gosh, that can't be good for not just for young people, for adults. It's not good, in my opinion. Tiffany, go ahead. What do you think about this couple they can't decide to give their daughter a phone? One says no, the other says yes.
I think there is a medium. We used the Verizon option. It was like a child line, and there was an app on my phone where I could program in the 20 numbers that she could communicate with. And outside of those 20 numbers, nothing could go to and from that phone. And it regulated her data, and we still stopped her from having social media, even though she had a phone. So, because I do agree with the mom with the way things are today, it's really scary. I couldn't, when she started high school, I couldn't live, actually, I think it was 7th or 8th grade that we got the phone. But we did limit social media. So I think there's a difference there, and there's so many resources out there where you can, like I said, limit what they can do and who they can communicate with. It worked really well for us.
Okay, there's definitely some options out there, and it's tough because it's going to be a battle. When your kids have a phone, it's a battle to get them off the phone. It's a battle worrying about who they're talking to, what they're looking at, and you would like them to be kids for as long as possible.
But then there's also, the battle of the parents where we are so busy these days doing sports and after-school activities, and we're here and then our own jobs, and we got to be in a million different places at once. It is kind of nice to be able to pick up the phone and just get in touch with who you need when you need them.
Right.
You know,
or like, oh, they're all on their phones. I can not have to entertain them the whole time.
That's with Katie's point, though. That is, the society has made it where a phone is just about a necessity, and you have to be dependent on it.
Yeah.
I see both sides.
And we're all, and I don't know a person that's not at some level addicted to their phone.
Mm-hmm.
It might be low level, and there's high level. I mean, there's just something about I wish they had a thing of I wish they kept a track of how many times you just pick up your phone a day.
Excuse me, I get that dumb alert every week where it's like your screen time was up 97% last week. I'm like,
Get off me, phone!
I was feeling down. I had to look stuff up.
And then we feel proud. Like, I was on Instagram for 17 hours today. Like, what a good job I did.